Hi everyone, welcome back to e-commerce success by Ad360. Today I'm going to debunk a frequently given tip which doesn't work at all to rank higher on Google. I'm going to discuss how the Google Freshness Algorithm actually works and how you need to make sure that your fresh content gets more highly ranked. Okay, let's jump right into the article. I will put the link in the description if you want to read it entirely. So a number of algorithms from Google have been introduced over the years to make sure that Google can rank super high in the first position articles that are fresh. So let's see what this means. So these articles are the Google Freshness Update, we had the Caffeine Update, and a few other changes over the years that they introduced to make sure that they can serve really up-to-date responses to queries. So the freshness name for this update is directly taken from the official Google announcement. So Google Search uses a freshness algorithm designed to give you the most up-to-date results. So how does this work? So whenever you have queries that are related to one recent events or regularly recurring events or frequent updates, then if you're writing a content that's new, that's fresh, you have a higher chance of being super highly ranked. Let's see a few examples. So if you type, something like this LIMOE, which is the name of a Google algorithm, you'll see that the first results are super recent articles. So 7 hours ago and 9th of June 2022, knowing that this article was published on the 29th of June. So, it's the same month. So very, very recent article and one that's been written in the same month as the request. And, that's something that's about a new, trending topic. Something about recent events. So if something just happened, for example, about Ukraine, you have top stories in the news, and if you write something that's really fresh, you're going to be more highly ranked. Last example is about regularly recurring events. So that's, for example, sports. So here in this example, NBA. So if you're writing about NBA or the latest match or the upcoming match, you're going to be more highly ranked by producing fresh content than like a very old content. So what does this mean? This means that you have the opportunity to rank high. You see, for example, Samsung Galaxy review. In the first 3 results, you have 2 that were written in the last 3 days. So that's great for small businesses and people that just got started, because it means if you're targeting time-relevant queries in your articles and in your content, you have a higher chance of ranking higher. You shouldn't, when you get started and you have a small e-commerce site or a small content website, you shouldn't try to attack right away a very established keyword where there's an article that's been written many years ago that's been number 1 for like a very long time. It's super hard to beat that type of content. Very often people want to get started with that because they read about evergreen content and some content that can continue to drive traffic and be served as a search query response many years afterwards. And you all have this idea of content that's evergreen is going to yield dividends over a very long amount of time. That's true, but for that to be true, it also needs to rank high on Google. Whereas if you produce fresh content, so the downside is it's not going to be relevant for super long, but the upside is you have a much higher chance of ranking high on Google, and you have a much higher chance of driving a huge amount of traffic. Okay, so now that doesn't apply to all the queries. So Google uses something they called QDF, query deserves freshness, to know if fresh content is required for a certain type of query. So you need to target queries that are QDF if you're producing that type of fresh content. So what you can do is type on Google a keyword or like a long tail keyword, a long keyword like a question or multiple words query, and try to see if the first few results are recent results or not. If that's the case, then most likely the query you just typed is a QDF, and you're going to be more likely to rank higher if you produce fresh content for that query. Okay, so something that doesn't work is, I wanted to debunk that. I read about this in this article, this myth surrounding fresh content. So I see this frequently, suggested as a tip, but this doesn't work. So this myth is that if you change the date of publication of your article, so take an article you wrote like 2 years ago and you just like change the date and republish it today as a copy paste, it's not gonna work. Okay, maybe it used to work like a decade ago, but that's no longer the case. Google is a smarter platform than that, and they can notice if it's actually new content or not. So Google loves fresh content, not just fresh date of publications, right? So what you should do, on the other hand, is maybe refresh the content in terms of actually updating it, including newer findings, newer events, stuff that wasn't around when you first wrote the article. So you should keep on updating your content and making it fresh, but not just by changing the date of publication. This clearly doesn't work. Okay, so I hope you liked these few tips so you can rank higher. So for example, in another video maybe I'll show you, but some of the articles that drove us the most traffic on the Ad360 website are articles we wrote to react to recent events online. So these were when Google made core update algorithm changes, when Shopify announced new stuff, or when they shut down the Obolo app for dropshipping. So these are a few examples of the articles that drove us the most traffic, that were the most efficient. And why did we get a ton of traffic from these articles? It's because we were amongst the first people to write about that on our website, and that got us a ton of traffic, and we're ranked much more highly on these articles than on other keywords that would be considered evergreen. So I hope you like these tips and you can apply them for your own business to get a ton of traffic. I wish you a lot of success. See you soon. Bye.